Hey again, DBJ. I want to talk about unique characters and how you can do that. So we're going to do 10 things that you can do in 10 minutes to make a unique character. Okay, and I'm going to try to test myself too to see if I can do this in 10 minutes to give you this information. Alright, so here we go. First one. Get a weapon. Find a weapon. Look in the book. Throw out everything that's common. Long swords, two-handed swords, daggers, short swords. Get rid of them. Pick something unique. A whip. Pick one of the pole arms. Find a weapon you can barely pronounce. Find a weapon from another culture in our world. There are plenty of swords beyond scimitars, katars, all kinds of weapons. Pick a unique weapon. Especially pick a weapon that your class and or system or character would not normally use. Dwarves using long swords and crossbows, elves using long pole arms or whips or something. Pick something outside or that's unique for your character type or class. Second thing, something that 5th edition D&D has done, and I've always added this, find something that your character can hold in his hand, carries with him, that will always spark a question. A small trinket. It could be a picture, a small game, maybe he whittles on some wood. It's a whistle, a top. It can be anything, a small pearl. Pick something that will spark interest. Maybe even your character doesn't know what it is. A family heirloom, something he found. It can be completely worthless, but it's something unique and interesting for your character. I'll go back to Pathfinder. Their fighter iconic character has a goblet, an empty goblet on the guy's hip, and uses that, takes it everywhere he goes, and has it filled with mead or grog and drinks. Pick something like a trinket. Third thing, have your character have a skill that doesn't cost any points. Talk with your game master. A skill. I'm a really good cook. I can whistle or sing very well. Not bardic level. I can do something that is unique and different, and but so minor that it doesn't have any game statistics to it. I'm a good painter. I like to whittle. I can make bird calls. And anything. I have the ability to stand on my head. I'm not an acrobat. I can just, for some reason, I can stand on my head. I can roll my eyes into the back of my head. My left shoulder is disjointed. Something weird, something silly. Maybe you can recite poetry that was taught to you, read to you as a child. Your character can, for some reason, is very good with cats. You love cats, and for some reason cats just gravitate towards you. Something simple, something weird, something out of the norm for your character that is a skill or an attribute that is really bizarre. I was born with a 6th toe. Something strange, okay? Number 4, pick something odd in your history that no one would ever guess. Maybe you were a young elf, and when you were growing up, you used to hang out with a gang of orphans, and one of the kids in the orphan was an orc, and it wasn't until you got older that you even realized he was an orc. Something odd in your history. You were a paladin, and someone asked you about your history, and you were a street orphan, and you used to pick pockets. Pick something different. Maybe you are royalty, but you were kept in captivity from a rival nation and treated very harshly. Something strange in your history that no one would guess. Number 5, family, friends, allies, contacts. Pick at least one. You have one relationship with an organization, a person, a family member, or a friend in this world. Something that you hold very dear. Maybe you don't like this person. Maybe you're the good child and the bad one is in jail or something, or is a criminal, and you're a holy knight or something. And both of you have a strong dedication and love for each other, but you are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Pick a relationship you have. It can be a tavern owner. It can be a mom that still lives on farm. It can be a best friend that still stays at home. It can be a sister who is a part of a political party that's in jeopardy of being ousted and maybe even killed. Pick a person or an organization that you have a strong tie to. Number 6, a weakness or a phobia. Nothing game related. You know, you don't have to have negatives or points or anything like that. But pick a weakness. And I always go back to this. Indiana Jones didn't like snakes. Would you get a minus on that? No, but it's just something you didn't like. Maybe you don't like spiders, don't like heights or in enclosed spaces. Something simple. You know, you can have a, I wouldn't put it on the level of phobia. Maybe that's the incorrect word. But there is something that your character dislikes. Maybe you dislike dwarves, you dislike orcs, and you automatically have an instinctive distrust of them. And I would say I would pick this to be opposing to the character you're creating. If you're let's say take Pathfinder for example, you're playing a ranger, they have a hated enemy. I wouldn't just pick the exact same hated enemy that I am as a ranger. That's boring. Go outside the box. Maybe your ranger was trained to kill orcs, but they don't make you're not afraid of them. You just don't like spiders and, you know, creepy crawly things. You just don't like them on you. Sure you know how to handle fighting them. That doesn't mean you're comfortable around them. All right? Now, here's number 7. Pick a desire. Something that you go out of your way to do. Or when you're in town, this is something you have to do. Gambling, listening to poetry, listening to classical music, sitting by yourself and watching the sunrise, whittling on a piece of wood, whistling to yourself, anything like that. Pick a simple desire. Maybe you like to go to the gambling houses, or maybe you like to play chess with strangers in a park. Something that you love to do. Whenever you go to town, you give money to a local orphanage, or you use your healing abilities and serve at a local hospital or place where they tend the sick. Create something unique as well. If you're a barbarian, maybe for some reason you love quiet classical music, and wherever you go, you see a bard and they're playing their lutes and lyres or something, you like to sit down and listen. Okay, and here's number 8. Pick a hatred. Okay, now the phobia hatred thing does not have to coincide. A hatred could be, you know, you hate spiders and you just go crazy. You rip your boot off and you're going to slam a spider no matter what happens. Like I said, don't make the hatred go in line with the character concept. You can be a ranger that's trained to kill orcs, but maybe you don't have a particular hatred for them. Not as much as you hate lizard men. And they go, well, why aren't you trained? Well, I wasn't trained to kill them. I just hate them. The orcs, I could take or leave them. But my country's on the border of a orc army, and I've learned how to kill them. I know their tactics and whatnot. But I mean, they haven't done anything to me particularly. Number 9, when designing your character. Now here we're going to talk about rules and game stats and things. Have a stat that's high, that's off-center for your character. So I would say a fighter with a high intelligence, a mage with, you know, a high con or strength skill, playing a cleric with, you know, very high dex or something like that. I'm just coming up with examples. But pick some game stats, or even make your highest stat not the one that is specifically for your character. Okay, you're playing a wizard, I want to put it all intelligence. Boring. You know, maybe put it all in charisma. Maybe that's how you got through wizard school, is because you charmed the pants off of all the teachers and the students. And so you pass with flying colors, even though your intelligence is only 12, or maybe even 14 or something. So pick a stat that's off for your character. And the last thing is, and this seems real petty, but find a good name for your character. There's nothing worse than someone that's like, well, my character's name is Bob. I'm naming my character Sue. My character's Nasty McNasty, or Joey McHackenslash. When you pick a name, not that your name has to have a history or has to have a meaning, but instantly the name will identify how serious and how jovial you want your character to be considered in this world. There's no hacky Mr. Hack and Slash in Lord of the Rings. All the characters in that world are named from a language that J.R.R. Tolkien created specifically for his world. So what you want to do is create a name. And yes, it's kind of hard, but there are plenty of online sources with random name generators. There's some that'll pick like 30 for you in a list. Pick a really good name. Pick a name that, to pronounce it might be a little bit hard in the beginning, but something that you're proud of. And learn to pronounce it yourself. And so when people are like, what's your name again? Oh, it's so-and-so. And it's what's a character's name that I remember from old? Oh, there was a gnome character a friend of mine had, and his name was Ginishinash Drahishanishinabalo. And I please hope I'm actually saying it right. But it was so strange and way out there that was funny. We played in a space opera game, and his character name was Weird Unfor We Don't Care. And we were kind of making fun of, because it was the whole pulp sci-fi kind of thing. And so just make a name that's creative. And so like I said, in 10 minutes you can make a very unique character. Unique weapon, have a trinket, get a unique skill, pick a really odd history, pick a connection with a family or a friend or organization, make a particular thing your character's scared of, like a phobia, pick a desire, a hatred, make one of your stats that's off for your character type, and lastly, get a great name. So, thanks for your attention, guys. And as always, be creative, don't destroy.